Welcome back. This is the Good Morning Devotion. I want to say very sorry to people. Shiba, I didn't mean for Puelu na coffee this morning, but sorry for show that video, but we had to show it. That place they did in a very bad. How people can just sit down and accept that for happening that way, they may not understand. I clearly don't understand, because for me, if you can't take care of those places, then sometimes you home self na so day. That's poor leadership. Poor leadership. But welcome back. This is the Good Morning Devotion. We can go into conversation proper this morning. I get the pleasure for welcome na the studios the Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education, Bokari Abdulaziz Bawo. Good morning, sir, and it's a pleasure having you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for bringing me here.
Yeah, thank you. I get Joel Abdullahi Kalon, data scientist, and now the way they analyze how the media and they move right now. Good morning, Miyaki, the CEO, the Miyaki Analytics, and they do very, very well and with data issues. May I always get this conversation. I say data need for inform waiting they talk about. Good morning, Joel, and it's a pleasure having you.
All right, thank you so much, Lama. Good morning, Sorie.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. We'll start the conversation proper. The MCC scorecard, the I and the lows. The new reports where the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC, the U.S. government, then they use the scorecard for evaluate and analyze progress with governments, and they make, in terms of, investing in their people, policies and programs, as well where they shape the development of the country, the rule of law, the economy, access to credit. And out of the 22 scorecard, this financial year 2026, we only passed 9 and failed 13 of them. Mr. Minister, I will start with you. Government accepts the indicators in this scorecard and accept, say, we didn't do well with this analysis and evaluation from the MCC for this year?
Well, this is a straightforward question. And I would say to all of us as Sierra Leoneans, if we take ourselves as individuals, anybody we don't do very well. When you have challenges, you know, measure. So you best, you need to accept, go back to the drawing board, and see how you will come back strong. For this year's scorecard, what we need to know is a no day like a blank day. We all know, say, since 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, we have been doing very, very well. Mm-hmm. This time, we had a dip in performance. That we accept as an administration. Not that we feel like when people they take, only when you take education as a product, then they focus too much on figures for determining who is intelligent or not. But when you take it as a process, self-evaluation is very key. How was I before now? How am I now? Will tell you a lot of things. So if we take education as a process, we look at what will happen and we'll say, okay, the position will be only maintained. Compared to the position, the result will come on and we'll say, okay, we don't measure up. Mm-hmm. But everything we pertain to a thriving democracy for a small nation like we, I think we do very, very well.
Yeah.
We continue for maintaining with scores in a lot of things what we don't do. Where they show, say, as a country, with democracy, they grow. Yes, the new indicators where they add, some we not get data for some are up. But that is not an excuse. We have received this one in good faith, like we did in 2018 when we come. The Vice President hold a session, Abo, with everybody concerned about how we will really perform our MCC and ensure that we get the benefits out of them. Now that they make, unprecedentedly, we began for sign a grant of $480 million for really spend our power with energy sector. Now, because of the commitment, when we go above, we look at what's in our MCC, what is there, what we were able to do for ensure, say, first of a kind in history. So I'm going to go to that level for really sign MCC grants. Now, that commitment will put. So this course sheet for 2026, we don't come also. Yes, we didn't do well in some of the areas. Key areas where they show, say, democracy in Sierra Leone, and that we are participating in the control of corruption, government accountability, freedom of information, very many other things we do very well.
Yeah, the ruling justly indicators, when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 indicators. On press freedom, we get 32.4. We get we do very well on the fight against corruption. We do very well. The only side we pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 indicators. The only one who persisted continuously, don't they feel, now government effectiveness.
Thank you.
So how? Because government effectiveness mean a lot for showcasing the government is effective, it's doing things right, it's helping in this way. What's in now the reason why? Maybe now something we know why we're not able surpass this and pass this indicator.
So when you talk about effectiveness in governance, or even in project implementation, you get a lot of things where they sum up. Like make, as a government, we are key. But when you look at the things we comprise that within make effectiveness of governance, one, then we look at infrastructure. Two, social protection, stability and competence of the civil service, evidence-based policies, actual implementation of we development plans. All these things we look at, not to one person good one. Like when they look at your actual implementation of your development plan over the years, every government will propose based on vision, waiting a one achieve 90 ways with development plans. But most of we budget based on donor support. You know, now percentage support now they have, and they don't support more than perhaps even what they can from we. So if you don't have all those resources available, there are lots of ways you know we're able to meet full implementation of your development plan that they count on we. When you look at the civil service, the competence and the stability of civil service, that is not for one administration. Now, the thing when we come, we say, okay, let us look at how we reform the civil service. Because we yourself as a nation, we know, say, the civil service needs to be reformed. These are all the things where they go into effectiveness. There are a lot of infrastructural development where they expect from a country. For sure, say you are effective. If you don't have the resources, now big you can for go big somebody. Those infrastructures we are still lacking.
7 years down the line, Mr. Minister.
It's not 7 years down the line. It is as a nation. Those infrastructures are not available. These civil services we talk about, not just 7 years, they don't exist. It has been there. As a nation, how do we do to increase local revenue mobilization? What do we do to ensure that our civil service is effective, is stabilized? What do we do to ensure that we will get able to fund with national development plan? Those are the only time we will say, even if you're running a home and a big abupa for the go big, for can't do the things that we want to do. Nobody can reach it to be effective. Because the plans that we get, you know, we execute it because now somebody else rely on for give money. And when you look at the world all over now, the one that say we abupa for give money for let you do what you want to do, they are in crisis.
So in essence, you agree, say government hasn't been able to be effective.
We have not been effective. That is why if we have been effective, that way, you know, you see this scorecard. Consistent, but these are the things where there's some of which you call governance effectiveness. Sometimes, like when you tell the actual implementation of development plan, no African country will tell you, say, it will fully implement in development plan. You cannot. Infrastructure, these are capital investment issues. If you don't get the money, you know we're able. And these are things where they look. These are somebody, an independent body in America, the U.S. Congress, don't set these things. Like they look at. So, another one that you control sometimes. The one we purely the one that we control, where perhaps our policy reform as this you need for do, Now they see wait ruling justly. That one now you able to do. If you not do one like for control corruption, be accountable. This now you able to do for yourself. That is why you see us passing. But that one way you rely on somebody else for giving money for can't spend, for be effective. If the resources are not there, no project, even when they assess, evaluate projects. When you talk about effectiveness of project, now those are the things. If the resources are not adequately available, both human and money, if you're not available, you will not be effective.
Let me look at economic freedom. I think that one side where we perform poorly as well. They add indicators and they, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we pass only 2. When women in the economy and employment opportunity, we get 95, 82. But inflation, we fail. Trade policy, access to credit, information market access, when are one of the indicators that we they add. Property and land rights, continuously you don't fail this anyway. Market competitiveness, I think now one of the new indicators them as well. But business startup, we fail them as well. And the regulatory quality, we fail that as well.
Okay. So all these things we don't show. The one way you say we pass, like women in
economy, yeah.
Fine. These are policy oriented, something you're able to do. Like when you look at which we act, it is not just a policy or a document we put. You see the president, they try for implementer. Look at the number of women that will get in parliament, in cabinet, in positions. This is you're able to do. When you look at, for instance, startup, business startup, these are all resource oriented issues. Somebody don't know will start up business if you don't get money. When we don't come, we put media together for like able give money to market women then for the small business. But Sierra Leone as a country, we business approach is why we're not able to compete at international, when they say international competitiveness of business. As a nation, we're not able to partner it for do big business. Everybody they go solo. And if we all they do just sole proprietorship, you're not able to compete at that level because you need huge capacity. But when you watch around, most of the businesses are a one-man business. And you're not able to compete. Because you have to pull a lot of resources together for them to be able to break into the international market. Why is it that as Sierra Leoneans, we don't come together to do business? Recently, I did an article where I really look at trust level between Sierra Leoneans. Outside, when you look at other countries, they trust individual more than even state institutions. I would trust Lamrana say if I did business with Lamrana, I mean we will go before. But if me and you not able to trust yourself, if they take you, them giving you public office, because I don't trust you, that distrust will show how much I get for believe say you will perform or you know will perform. That distrust will get amongst yourself. Now make you not able to put money together and do big business. Even locally, if you look inwards, we see Lebanese and other people, they do big business, Sierra Leone is not able to do. And then Lebanese and they come together, pull resources together, and approach capital-intensive business. But if me and you not believe we say for put money together, irrespective of which environment government creates, now only foreigners will take the opportunity because we know want to come together and do business. And sometimes when they provide their opportunities, they really want to see trace of performance, how they manage big funds them. But if I don't get a record of that, I don't get a collateral for even sure.
But access to credit is a challenge. we don't fail them, you know, because access need for let you understand, say, okay, I can get you know, credit at a low interest rate for last start my business. But that is a challenge where most people in the private sector, SMEs, and they complain about.
Yes. So why are they complaining about, or why may they complain about access to credit? You know, banks, the aim of every business is to maximize profit. So every bank where they give loan out, they want to give at high interest rate. And government will just come for ensure say the private sector boom. You know, like what people then say, price control, no, this and that, no, they. We live in a free market economy where the forces of demand and supply and they determine whether they get waiting or which price go there. Government will can say, okay, raise price now so for this and that. until and unless you're able to participate in our market, we just can't dictate anyhow. Like when we had a lot of problems with transport and other things, the government bring and work fine. You're able to regulate, stabilize what they happen there. So, but when you say access to credit, those where they provide credit also get what they demand from you for let them able to give you. That is why a lot of our people don't do agriculture, not able to get access to credit. Because agricultural loan is like any other loan, commercial loan, where they give people there. But with the new feeds value, those are the things we don't look at. For ensure, say, farmers are getting access to credit and they are not required to go through the rigors with commercial credit take. So we have looked at this, that our people are not getting access. But like they say, when they ask you for collateral, you don't have it. You are not doing anything.
But if people ask you, like somebody who do small business, when not get property, there needs to be some funds where you go access easily. No need for provide host collateral where you not get host. So you want to do business for able to take care of yourself and perhaps buy host or bill host.
So when I was at the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, one of the things we been doing in my portfolio now for monitors media, media now that wonderful loan where they be getting for give money to business people. Now FSP then, financial service providers, and they be engaged. It was interesting to know that even when government give these FSPs money, for give with people there at 9% interest rate, 9 government say okay, they forgive people there. People they deprive. They take government funding, they do the normal.
Instead of investing in the business.
Instead of that vision or intention with the president say, give people 10,000 without beaucoup requirement. What do? They hold this money, but they don't give with people there. They continue in that line of credit where they don't give at that interest. So the final say they give with people there money, but at their own interest. So it also comes back to we as Sierra Leoneans. The intention was there. Some people, in fact, they take when the money where they give the people, the collector, but for can't pay government because this was supposed to be revolving. Government give people the way they can't pay, so it continues to exist. But when you disrupt, somebody take when somebody take a, he say, "I need give again." And when you know give, they not able to give other person. Some FSP then they give them. But they can't give government if let government continue the scheme. But these are all challenges. That is why we initially the government they give these funds directly. We say and say when you give, in fact, some people now they use it as political instruments. Say there are people that we don't give that loan. If when I elect them back, then they collect una. So the person will be not say they help. It becomes an enemy because you know and pay back to government, and it is you are not paying to the political party. Governance is continuity. So we now look at say, okay, let us pass it through established financial service providers. But again, the problem still continue existing. That when you give even the financial service providers, they will take back from the people, but for can't pay government. So it is a Sierra Leonean thing.
Okay.
These are all the things so we'll say, okay, let us see how we can reform ourselves, change our attitude, and really define who is a Sierra Leonean and what you need for do for really be proud say I'm a patriotic Sierra Leonean. Okay,
Mr. Minister, I will come back to you. Joel, you don't hear it from the minister. First, we start with acceptance. Yes, there are issues that are not right, but one of the side that will do well now accountability and access to press freedom. We generally get from access to information when that space that you there as well. I'm sure you don't analyze the whole report and some of the things they will do well and not do well progressively and how, we will continue for do well and pass the scorecard because the rate we with other people, other country, the whole day, now the same standard. But what's in this mean with waiting we pass and waiting we not do well at and government accepting it as well?
Anyway, I want to commend the minister first and foremost. It's refreshing for see they admit some of the challenges, right? Salon is challenged. That's just the reality. So I think it's just very refreshing for Sian to say yes, we fail because that's the reality. This no need for Ben. We did not pass, even by the MCC, their own standard, right? You need at least for pass, I think, 11 out of the 22 indicators for be considered a pass, which means if na this term, there be the accessory for the MCC compact, we not for be qualify. That's what it means generally. So while I commend the minister, we accept, which is the basic, which is really what we expect government for do, for understand, say, yes, we don't make effort in some areas, but the challenges persist, right? The challenges persist. And waiting, I want to make people know when perhaps it's also beneficial for the government. Now, follow the look at the scorecard beyond just statistics. Not to just statistics, say I pass 11, I pass 12. They have serious implications for how the ordinary Sierra Leonean they able to live in life. If you take something like market competitiveness, me na entrepreneur, me na businessman, right? I know what that means. I know the challenges with Lamwana, you may also understand, right? Starting a business na salon, it's almost no support. And I don't agree with the minister say it's outside their hands. That's in the way they not get control. I think it's right for make that point to say some of the things they fail, things we depend entirely on external actors. Donors. Yes, we can't be very poor. We are an impoverished nation. We need all the help we can able to get, right? But the entire way that they measure government effectiveness, market competitiveness, these are things we government can able to do for them people. So while I agree generally with the fact, say, I agree with the scores, but I think it's very important for make the government understand, say, they beyond statistics. It's how it affects me as a businessman, right? If I can't compete with other businesses abroad, I cannot start a company without too much hustle, too much iagba for taking from point A to point B. Simply because the enabling environment sometimes not exist. It's you over taxation sometimes. You get access to grants, access to capital. You mentioned the capital. Yes, corruption there in all of them. And they say they try for blame the one that we can manage the funds. But the problem's way deeper than that.
Yeah, for me, looking at the issue of government effectiveness, to some extent, he analyzed the things that will fail and how we know they continuously pass them in some stages. But from your own perspective, how do we fix these things? Because government effectiveness, now one indicator where they should say we can do well in different other places. If we pass this indicator, it means we can do well in investing in people, we can do well in ruling justly, we can do well in economic.
Let me put it in another way, as simply as possible. What in government's effectiveness mean? It simply means all them policies here, then regulations here, all the other thing them where the minister mentioned. How do they translate to the provision of better services for the everyday Sierra Leonean? And that's I mean. And by consistently failing, it just shows the reality, say, with the struggle for providing. I was here the other day and we discussed quite lengthily how provision of water, electricity, healthcare, the basics, right? We still struggle. And yes, the challenge is complex because you get to do sometimes availability of resources, the infrastructure we needed for push the entire. But if consistently we fail this particular indicator, then it means we need to rethink with strategy. In fact, for me, right, it makes me wonder even how do we get to pass the other indicators, right? Because if we translate, generally, if you are doing well with controlling corruption, not for a year again, you say, okay, Munafa funds, the people already manage them, because that's what it is supposed to mean. You want to tackle corruption, because when you tackle corruption, it could lead to improved service delivery, right? People can able get health care, people can able get medication, people can able go to schools them and not get for sit down or grown or in very dilapidated structures. So like I mentioned, effectiveness, government effectiveness, now one of the really critical indicators. It show how, whether you pass a freedom of information law, whether you pass a new policy, a new law, whatever, how that translates to the betterment of the life of the everyday Sierra Leonean. And the fact that they fail them repeatedly, it's not surprising. We all see, you just need to go around and see the challenges, right? Yeah. Everyone experiences them. So that's not the reality.
How do we fix things like this? Is it with policy or being more open, like how the minister was this morning and accepts it? Yes, there are things we're not doing well, we can do better with it. And how do we, as a government?
I think that's a very good question, and I agree. Say the side where the minister starts is very excellent. At the right place for start by being open and transparent, and just accept. Say we dey suffer, the challenges the many, but I think beyond that, one of me real problems with the way the current administration they approach issues is like we tend to focus too much on the external. I can tell you for sure, say the reason why the MCC scorecard with the discusser now and all that, because now foreigners that they do, the US, and it's tied to some money, some grants. We need to move beyond that at some point. For me, I think the MCC scorecard fine, but what about a citizen scorecard? What do the people think? My experience has been that government need for do more for take into consideration within Sierra Leoneans think. You just need for go to data set like Afrobarometer for see what Sierra Leoneans think about the direction the country done they go for the past 3, 4, 5 years. You hardly get ministers discussing that. I wonder if they do so even in cabinet meetings. But it's serious because consistently...
But sometimes you go think say internally for assess we self, it will be skewed one kind of way. People talk to them, people are...
No, but
they kind of polarize with politics.
We are polarized, but government as a key able commission their own independent studies there. For me, the appetite for just know what people think, right, is really central. Now we move beyond, and you just need to watch around. That has been the focus. Okay, we passed this according to Transparency International. We did this according to MCC. We did that. So a lot of the focus for me, in my opinion, and I think a lot of Sierra Leoneans will agree with this, has been on appeasing external actors, right? The one that really fund we and donors, and very little for really take into account within the ordinary Sierra Leonean thing. And if we're not able to do that, it's difficult for provide the services where they need. We're going to make governments more effective, right?
Under investing in people, Mr. Minister, we get 6 indicators. We in health expenditure we get 64. Workforce development data not available for Dande. Natural resource, protection 31. Now, one thing this in 2022 we passed the new Mining Act. We move up, we pass them. Then afterwards, the following year we drop down, we fail them, and continuously we don't they fail them. The other one, when a chronic disease, and one of the new indicators them as well. Girls' primary education completion, we passed Sunday, we get 97, very high. Child health investment in that, 18, we not pass them as well. So, how much does government invest in its own people? Where the indicators here, they show say, yeah, but there are challenges in investing in people from the government side.
One first allegation issues where a colleague reference with respect to why we always pay attention to external evaluation rather than internal evaluations. Rightly, you say if now we put this report and say, freedom of information we pass, somebody has a tendency to query. But when I enter here, you say, let's talk about MCC. Yeah? You didn't ask me to talk about Afrobarometer. So I was responding to the question where you posed. If we access Afrobarometer data report it out there, when I call we as ministry, because we talk for the people and for the government, we come. When IGR can pull in evaluation reports, we respond to it. We take it seriously. And you only pay attention. I mean, we are doing both internal.
But government they assessing self at the point maybe, and I know they get the monitoring.
You are very, very correct to say, if we assess ourselves and can begin to brag with that assessment, what do you say? We have an assessment where, like MOPE they do, on how we implement we development plan. Those assessments. We have assessments where the Chief Minister's office they do on performance. Which ministry is a performance? But that is not an assessment where you would take for. I mean, it's like you celebrate your birthday that you say, somebody at the Go Club. No, they say, social. They say, whether my birthday will be celebrated. No, this is not personal thing. But when a third opinion come and tell you, say, now so you did, that is why we all communicate on this. Because this is a third and independent opinion. Why are we interested? Here is somebody saying, if you do well, all these things where MCC puts, this is a bipartisan engagement for ruling people well and for protect the American interest. Now they make it pass MCC. So when you rule people there well, I mean, who does that affect? Not to America, it affect. So as a government, we are interested. That is why we do everything humanly possible for ensure so we pass. Because when we pass these things, it is show, say, what we promise with people, then we deliver on. We don't have the resources enough for be very effective in implementing everything. Then they pass somebody who wants to say other thing, but no African country of our stature go tell you, say, I get that resources for me to do everything in my development plan. That is why when you talk about effectiveness of governance, I don't tell you, say, the things that we did, we want to do everything about that thing. Infrastructure, within that country, we will not go on.
But one side we go get money, now we mineral wealth. And like I say,
so you see recently,
we they fail Panam.
Yeah, see recently what in government do. We don't find out, say, even where all this transparency international report, then they come out, they say, okay, you are doing very well. But the resources where they come out from that sector, almost everything they go. So we try for review and say, no, when these resources come on, and let this amount left at the community.
So now the time that they will pass this indicator, actually, yes. It's 2022 and then pass that.
So
that
building. What thing government don't do? You don't see, say, the mineral wealth fund, we don't also create them, that some of them mineral asset and now let the country own them. Let them go find somebody they can mine. So that it starts with 10% and they go as far as 35%. Every where they come out in that sector, if you own 35% as a nation, I think so, some of them think that you don't need somebody for can't give money again. Rather than hoping somebody can mine, he can't go there, he can't with pittance, he give you. No. That's all these reforms that we make. Now for ensure say the money when they come out of this country, perhaps go help we for be effective in governance. Any other administration now, you understand, not just president, but your administration. It is a collective effort. We are doing very well, like what you see, for spend power people there. Or else, the number of people that will go to school, enrollment rate overall increase, the number of people that will sit public exams, if not be they spend, the number of women them will be they die, will go bomb, compared to now, shows we are improving. Are we doing everything? No. Nobody will say it's God. That everything we want to do, are able to do, no. Gradually, we are approaching it.
Okay.
Gradually, we'll be there. But let's not forget, see, MCC starts 2004. This is the only administration that really go sign grants. And not to America tell we say now energy, when for spend this money. When you pass all these things they call you now, waiting at the thing where you think, say, if we spend money, it will improve the lives of your people. After all these things we don't do, we chose energy. We think say if energy they across the country, na me village, give madama, it's in a village.
Now, Kenema that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Everybody no need for wait for me, this and that. Everybody able to do their own business and that community for raise resources will be okay. That is why we chose. We your expectation that we don't sign compact. We do more for attract in another sector. You understand? So that if this result come out, we are not happy about it because we want left this one now. The energy we don't achieve it because that contract we don't sign them. Even when they don't attach the implementation of tripartite, we say we'll do that again. Because that 480 million, the impact of that implementation now want for people. Because we know say it touch the lives of everybody across the country. Devoid of your political party, devoid of your tribe, devoid of your region. Beyond that, we want to do more because this is not just like you go take extra money for can help your country. Internally, we are fighting corruption. Internally, we are accountable. Other people outside this country are saying at that global stage that yes, when they do very well in terms of fighting corruption, when I do very well in accountability, effectiveness, I have said, it gets a lot of other things we attach. Where perhaps I will continue to say, we need more resources. We also need, as a country, a lot of, like what I say, evidence-based policies. Most of these policies, now in fact, it is a requirement by HE that every policy where somebody they can go on a cabinet, if we get concurrent from the Minister of Information and Civic Education, we want to look at how much you engage with people on those policies. You know, just for stamp their opinion or your opinion, say that for with people. We want to see how you engage them. Citizens' participation in these policies, how it will reflect and change their life. That is why it is mandatory now that concurrence come out from the Minister of Information and Civic Education on those policies. These are reform measures.
Okay.
But not gradually.
Joel, how do we get internally generated, data when some of the work they do for address some of the indicators they are, where either we fail or pass, for inform waiting government do, because the point where you make now that how we go get Sierra Leoneans them for assess the young government directly, and say, yeah, we're doing well in this area, but yeah, we default. And our government will use that as well for address the challenges. Yeah,
it's just important for understand, first and foremost, say that's very important. If you go to the US, for instance, right, they measure government effectiveness through opinion polls, right? The president want to know in ratings among citizens. If I had the biggest indicator than they for them, when it drop, and it no matter who that even the conductor, you get pro-government institutions, they do the thing and the assessment, and the government-leaning institutions they do. You just want transparency. If the people are able to present their results, present the methodology, anybody, any data person can scrutinize their results, but again, the fact that we pay too much attention. I'm not saying it's wrong. He outlined some of the benefits of the external evaluation, but we are not doing too well with looking inwards. And I feel that's one part of the reason the way they make some of the key things that we actually involve benefits to the people, we can fail. I can give you an example. Salombi, they do what they call public expenditure tracking survey. Yeah. Right, pets. We now one way for track, for instance, if governments give the Ministry of Agriculture 5 billion for the year, how that money they really flow. I was involved at one point in the last pets we then conduct. That was the end of it. They put plenty money for that research activity there, and the reports not even make the light of day. Why? I'm sure maybe the results not be too favorable, and government say, oh. So we for another example is our annual audit report. You know, if you want to see how your country they perform, yes, the external assessments are nice. But we get already, so I'm making this point that we already get internal mechanisms for doing so. But most of the time, because of politics, because of...
But is it about trust? And like I mentioned earlier, how polarized we are. If you talk to people in a certain area, even if things are happening, then we say no because of their affiliation, you know.
It's about trust, right? He mentioned that I feel if governments not start for trust in people, in institutions, then we are in big trouble. But it's also about too much focus on optics, right? You know, the school where I go, they say rather to be than to seem, right? The other day, I say, we country they develop, everybody they know, you didn't know.
The economy doesn't
focus, you know, the lie, some of the indicators, yeah, it's clear, you can see. But if the focus is to project, to portray, to show, for meet benchmarks, then it becomes a challenge. Because you just want check marks. Oh, we passed this. Let me emphasize earlier, say, we will move beyond just looking at their assessment here as another statistics, right? It reflects on the lives, or even failing one of those indicators get huge implications for everyday Sierra Leonean. And maybe I'll just use this opportunity for explain how MCC they compute their scores.
Yeah.
Right. It's very important. So what the MCC they do, they take countries that they categorize them into income brackets. So you take Salone, you say, okay, who's other country then pull like Salone? They categorize with all. Then it takes certain indicators and I say, calculate the median. Median are like average, but indifferent from average small. They show the score where 50% of the countries then score above and 50% score below. So for the MCC, if a country score even 1 mark above the medium, that's a pass for many of the indicators. Other indicators, in the way they watch at the minimum, like inflation, right? They say the inflation of a pass 15%. So anything above 15% is a fail. I'm saying all of this for say, one, you know, we are competing among other countries and we also the struggle. Go check the list.
No, they never put we above Uda.
No, Uda.
Now we rank
so already you are in a comparative space where ideally if you really want move in a certain direction, you don't want to waste too much time there. Right? Because like you they aim for go Harvard, then they compare you to people like we sometimes they aim na. I know I mentioned school names there, but you get the point, right? So that's understanding very important. Let's embrace these external rankings, but we have to trust our institutions. The Ministry of Information, SEF, can commission regular rounds of studies, but just understand, what do Sierra Leoneans think? I think that there is a missing ingredient. All too often, every critical opinion, every time someone says something because again, the optics, they too much care about the optics.
Yeah. Where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
Who are they fund them?
Who are they fund them? And you know, get for be that way.
Yeah.
If we want trust for really spread around, we're really critical for moving a country forward, then it has to start with the government. Sometimes you look at people who sometimes get critical opinions. Go beyond the opinions. Look at what they present. Is it robust? Is it rigorous? Right? Is the methodology something we can stand the test of time? For me, once that's done, it should be acceptable. But this one for always they insist say, no, this not trustworthy, this not. The citizens themselves can say, well, we don't trust the data where they come up from the MCC because most of them depend on agencies
external,
or actors.
international.
Yeah, but even actors where they work with the government sometimes. You know, they will need information from the World Bank.
Yeah.
The World Bank gets information. They do primary data collection, but sometimes they just need to go to ministries and get information. Yeah. So the element of trust really important here.
Okay.
But importantly, let government, take come upon themselves for also they look inwards. What do cities, because the only way down they, for instance, take corruption, maybe before you come to that, we don't see they pass corruption all the time.
What do they do right?
But that's not even the point. The experience of the everyday Sierra Leonean, not FIBA a country where they score 70 or 75% in control of corruption. How many institutions you they go now where you they get services without being asked for a bribe, right? How many places you can able access things without some corruption? We all know that. Everybody knows that. But if your focus is only on passing this on paper, then you don't care about the
Mr. Minister, I see you
experience.
take note. Quickly, we get to other guests with the president of Lawyer Society. We can't go to them, but quickly, I see you take note, so no miss you thought. You agree with Joel say, internally, how do we get a retrospect? The indicators they are, how do we reflect? Maybe the ministry can lead that. How does it reflect in the people?
So, the vision of the president for it really create the mission at the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. Be really for citizens is very fine, because all this they show, like within Kalon they say, as citizens, what do we really define as a true Sierra Leone? The Sierra Leone may you want to see. Do we have to rely on what the other person they say about Sierra Leone for say this nine as Sierra Leone? Nine as Sierra Leone for me and you? Or do we have to define a pathway? Say, let we all work as so. Now I go show say yes, we are moving. Now we all collectively. That is why the media is very important. The civil society, very key. In all of us defining what thing we all require from public officials, from citizens. When once we all clear on that, like that is civic education. That is the civic space where they open. Citizens' participation. We not go take MCC. We look at WUSA, we say we fail. They say the council administration fail. They want to say one link credence. They say yes, when I fail. But WUSA they say they pass the one doubter. So when China be one develop, what it do? It close. It close to the outside world because no one define itself based on which other person say. So it do the things and we then no say this is what they do now they lead you to development. So they not take external comparison. You understand? But this requires when we talk about trust. I mean when you call media truth media, it's very key. What would they do here? Are we doing it because we are Sierra Leoneans and want to see a fine Sierra Leone? Are we doing it just because we get access to mic? It will not help Sierra Leone. What you all need for do now for define what do we call. Now, I will always say this at any given time where they give me President Kabasi, we get by that as Sierra Leoneans. This is the president when you elect. They look in citizens and say they get by that. What you see in citizens, what is saying about that? Have we defined it? Follow move away from him. And it's by Kroma come, he said, we need for change with attitude. Meaning, as Sierra Leoneans, they are still questioning something else.
That's the way attitude bad as well.
So tell that bad that way, like about one night, and then Sparks watch, he said, Lord, we change that attitude. Then this president can, he said, that direction will they in until we move to a new direction. So they are saying we need for define Sierra Leone. For we as Sierra Leoneans, and say, even if we are suffering, let us look at what people say, I know they suffer. We know say, okay, this suffer what they suffer. Now this I want to achieve. But let us not go behind the mic, just talk things because we have the leverage for talk anything. Let us all come together.
But government gets a responsibility for lead the conversation.
That is what we are. That is why we are leading.
Which kind of salon we want? How do we accept people who go all the way accountable? Genuinely.
That is why we take Lavalley in report very key. That is why every other or else we not forget they listen to what people that they say. We are very interested in what people that they say, and they give me feedback as a ministry. And I'm going to see we come as a ministry, another ministry. Even with press conference na Creole. Why? We want the man, now the extreme. Let it understand what people that they say and let it will relate to them.
Okay.
So we are key for get feedback from our people. And with the compile report, most times we send out to the president. Okay. We report to the chief minister. And that is why when you say they say access to information, freedom of information, this and that, we dey score very well.
Yeah.
Because if we not be to get the information then, I mean,
Yeah, it will be a problem.
as Sierra Leonean, we all, whether we pass or fail MCC, we for receive as a nation, and now look at how do we internally evaluate ourselves. You know, if we evaluate yourself, if you not get benchmark, where are we? We all accept it we're there. What do we need to do for let we go one go? And not to one person in Toko, but you know, we say you want to see a good Sierra Leone, where they make footbridge for let you know cross line. Let me kind of bang you. Now they clean the shit. Now they trade dirty.
You know, under the footbridge and say no trading, and then people
yes. Then you want salon like America. What are the civil society organizations? Because this awareness raising, this behavioral change,
civic education as well.
That's,
you know, how do we educate people for understanding here? We not because our society we're not used to. We not just create and believe so everybody go just fit in. The second part of this conversation, we can talk about what patriotism mean to we and what civic education mean to the people. Or they can talk about that. I'll bring the other guests in. The president, Mr. President, sorry for keeping you a bit this long, but it's a pleasure for getting you this morning. 1 year on, a year on as president of Lawyers Society. How has it been, you know, leading you learn colleagues them, you know, in this profession? How has it been for you?
Thank you, Lamona. Thank you so much for having me. I think it's been a fantastic year amidst the difficulties we don't face. I mean, backdrop to Lawyer Society, I can always clear this misconception where people and think say Lawyer Society not just one reactionary force. It is not. As a matter of fact, senior lawyers will tell you say they always had this idea of creating the society where they embrace both lawyers that will pass the bar and salon and lawyers that when I say unions that will qualify for practice law elsewhere other than Sierra Leone. So it's in the society do.
But I've been don't review the Sierra Leone Bar Association.
No, so the Bar Association specifically for pass the banner.
Yeah, but that is what I'm saying.
Yes,
you should have reviewed the constitution and say, oh, accept we other brothers and sisters them. So be part of this and maybe change the name or embrace everybody than creating a society.
No, so interestingly, the other side and also get the bar and the society. So the society they embrace in bigger. So also they include, for example, academics, people away, not necessarily study law, but don't write, you know, on legal disciplines extensively. So they also can be part of the society. So now that kind of umbrella they will seek for create. So what happened during the 2024 Bar Association election now be merely a catalyst for an idea that had existed for a long time, right? And so we membership then come together and say it's about time that we form the society for let we embrace them, values them, and also aspire for a better society. So on the 1st of November last year, the society was launched in the presence of hundreds of lawyers and also well-wishers, right? And from last year to date, the society don't embark on a number of things, right? But suffice to say that from last year to date, the Law Society has not been registered. Because government of Sierra Leone don't do all within their power for stop the society from being legally registered.
Is it that government not recognize you now? There is a Sierra Leone
No,
Bar
we don't need
Association.
government for recognize. As a watchdog, I've argued this extensively. I say if now we don't watch government, I don't need government recognition. In fact, in
No, but
law,
as an institution, you need government for accepting. Yes, there is this institution, we can collaborate with them, then can get a position on national issues, we for accept them as Sierra Leoneans, where they run a watchdog organization on we. That the recognition to some extent.
No. So, by the way, ANC existed many years. Nobody no recognize them, but it was a legal entity. So recognition, now one way for like foster your ideals, but you don't necessarily need them. In fact, people already do critical work where the whole government to account. Once they subscribe to government regulatory process, it dilutes them. So the best practice model, if I most of the time, why make we register? Now, because, for example, you want to collaborate with other organizations, they ask you, will you certificate to that SABU, etc., etc. Or, for example, if you want funding, you fund the one for what you certificate, etc., etc. Right? So, similarly, much as we understand in law, say once we come together for a common legal purpose, we don't need any recognition and registration. But we want them. Right? Because we deal with, for example, truth media, SLAG, and other professional bodies. We want for reference and say at least we're a registered entity. But, I mean, just for make the point, say this government don't go out of the way for stop the lawyer society from existing. But if you have a good seed we plant, however, the wind come, the rain trouble, it will still sprout into life. And at that day, the society don't demonstrate. Resilience.
Do you accept, say, you the lead one of the groups of a divided legal profession in Sierra Leone, of lawyers, lawyer society, the bar association. You will get people already the bar association, or they attend activities of lawyer society. You get people in the lawyer society, no go attend activities of the bar association as well. It's been divided.
Laman, I think the way you put the division, they creates a picture that people are just forced themselves into these polar groups, which is not correct. So, by the way, I'm still a proud member of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, but we get case in a court.
But you know, attend the bar association the last dinner, right?
No, because the people away, they superintend the affairs of the bar association. Majority of the membership don't say they lack the legitimacy for steer the ship.
So the bar association is divided.
So the bar association is not divided. Body. The membership don't take a position. Say the executive, when a group of 7 people no get legitimacy.
But there are other lawyers who are members of the association as well. We're not just then at the executive, but they're part of the bar association.
Absolutely.
Yes. So there is a divided bar association of, you get members them where accept and recognize the executive day, and you get people them of una with the lawyer society. We not recognize and not accept say they are the legitimacy.
Absolutely. So now that make we put all the matters there before the court. So if the court, for example, and by the way, we argue that application since last year, October. So you don't take the judge over a year for rule on the application day. Wait for them put to rest all the matters here. Now this will talk about speedy justice. Right? You know, say a particular group then get wahala. You go on for rule speedily for let resolve the matter. So over a year we wait. And over a year, government don't do all within them power. If they may not register, by the way, everybody gets choice for either join the society or not. But what will make them very, very clear, everybody with the lawyer society now also a member of the bar association. But then members don't say we are not recognizing the purported executive, right? So, I mean, we can disagree on the phraseology, whether it's division or whether it's a position by the hundreds of members for say, no, some certain things in there where not transgressions on we define procedure.
While challenging the legitimacy of the bar association executive, we will not wait until the courts rule and decide whether we could establish a lawyer society that can have people who are dissatisfied with the election at Kenema or the process na Kenema belong to a new, body. But there is already, whilst the matter then occurs, you already to establish another body where members, lawyers as well, don't align to.
Yeah, but so I think I made the point that this idea of the society don't exist a long time ago. So, for example,
but Kenema, the outcome of the Kenema event,
Kenema and catalyzer, yeah. I agree with that, right? The point I'm making is, for example, if the court were to come out with a ruling today and say what happened at Kenema being fall below the expectations of the constitution and other fresh elections, members that were dissatisfied with the executive, right, we hold themselves as being legitimate, can go back and then and make sure say we get things right. we not go mean say the society would cease to exist, because the society idea it almost it don't exist a long time ago, and it's an institution that we want to create, right? So that we can bring a merger between those who are qualified to practice law in Sierra Leone and those without, right? So the idea is,
If you were president of the bar association, if that election they've been gone, there will never have been a society, right?
No, because the society in the objective same, even though some of them overlap with the bar association, but they also get, they also get some differences, right? And I would proudly say that I think that we needed a society and a bar association. And I think we need, because for a long time, especially in legal terrain, we normally get that sort of plurality way other institutions can get, right? Because the many organizations you get, the many options you get, the less government able for conscript, the less government able for capture, and the less government able for interfere with the activities. So it's about time that we thought about creating an alternative where can give professionals them, right? So that government will get that easy work for go and capture one institution. Because if another institution where they play similar role, they would always continue pursuing them common ideals.
Do you as a member, of the Bar Association, like you say, and president of the Lawyer Society, you feel satisfied that the legal profession there in this way, as divided as it is, when I get events and everything over the weekend and all that, and you get certain people, they associate with the Lawyer Society, they're your friends, they're your colleagues, you went to college, you went to law school together, but there is this space where we all for meet and not they meet again, because after Kenema there's been this division. You think, say, the law profession don't be more divided than it has ever been in this country?
I think we should be honest with ourselves. A lot don't go wrong within the profession, but I think that what happened at Kenema was a disaster. What happened at Kenema was a monumental failure on the part of certain people within our government. We not only organize that idea day, but also actively pursue and perpetrate them and foist them on a professional body. And after them foist them on a professional body, they may expect, say, that professional body also for accept something we then do, we kill the very spirit of the legal profession. Because the spirit of the legal profession is such that laws and procedures ought to be followed at all times. But unfortunately, we see a situation where, by what happened in the event of Kenema, I tell you very, very clearly, say, all the actions and they've been fall below the minimum threshold of decorum and order expected. And so the society exists as a breath of fresh air to lawyers, but also to the society. Because for many a time, the people of this country, they accuse lawyers then when things can go wrong. So lawyers, they now don't decide, say, we want to play that role. We want to play that role. We want to occupy that space. And we want to continue to speak truth to power and hold leadership and power accountable. And that is the role that we have played over the past year. And that's the mandates that we are committed to continue.
But government not recognize what they do. They like you say, registration has been difficult, and even the Attorney General, the Chief Justice, and critical institutions they are way for collaborate with, perhaps waiting on they do. I'm sure there's been difficulties for get engagements with them or get to a position them be hard through them as well.
Well, unfortunately, I think it says a lot about those institutions and public officials than us. It says a lot, right? Because if a group of professionals can come together and the objectives are clear, and then forward-looking, I think say the government for do all in power for enhance waiting and they do. But for let the government go out of your way over a year and make sure say the lawyer society is not registered, they tell you a lot about the style of governance. And I agree with Joel when he talk about how the optics were cool, right? How the civic trains and sessions and Baku. But honesty is missing in the equation, right? Because honesty, they tell you, say, if you get alternative groups, even a groups that were critical, you gain any space for exist, right? Because lawyers then get the tools, they're able for all powers to account more effectively. So if you create the enabling environment for them, lawyers therefore exist, it means say you also they open yourself up to scrutiny. But if you close that space, you they send a message say you're not ready for be accountable. So beyond all these civic festivals and sessions and all them grandstanding activities, them you see say that currency of honesty so spectacularly missing. Because this is a group where don't say we they appeal to anything illegal, unlawful. Waiting we don't embark on for the last 2 weeks during we activities. Last month we organized a tech summit. We invite the Minister of Communications for come as one of the keynote speakers. She did not show up. We invited the Attorney General as the keynote speaker. He did not show up. We invited the Minister of Internal Affairs. So this sort of group, we don't say we know they collaborate with government. We say we'll collaborate with government. By the way, this same government, then consultants on the e-justice project, the Ugandan, where they pay several $1,000. Now the same consultants will fly from Uganda come and say they use a very own consultant because we think say this is the one they do not fine thing. We want let these consultants can talk to we. We invited over a dozen government officials. None of them not show up. Not one. The minister, including the head of the STI. None of them not show up. Not one. So this they tell you say we quest not to forfeit with government. We quest now for all government accountable and work with government who see say years and day. We look at the e-justice project. We said this is a fantastic idea. We need for collaborate with the government on this. We invited them. We gave them the platform. We gave them all the big and key functions for play. None of them not sure. Similarly, during the Society Week, we invited all the government functionaries. None of them not show up. So what did they tell you? Say then they act consistent with a government position that the lawyer society not for exists.
And you're not recognized. They're not.
We were not, yes. Yes. So but functionally, we're recognized by the people of Salion. Functionally, we're recognized by the media. Functionally, we're recognized by civil society. And we're playing the role where the other professional body ought to play or ought to have played. All
the minister on the take note. Perhaps you want to react to maybe something
I don't know if you say at the this kind
yes,
of
yes. No, well, yes, I agree with you. It wasn't something that was part of the conversation.
As the government, deputy government spokesperson.
Exactly. Yeah. And not just make it clear, say we know they ambush you.
No, not possible.
Yes, we are not. Yes, because no, I'm just making it clear.
Very clear.
The point is, we've been get Augustine, on a conversation for talk about the anniversary, but there are issues them we don't raise. Well, because you're there, possibly you can respond to.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And one comfort I get, Sierra Leone, 98% of the life where I don't live on earth, that's how long I don't live. Very many things that happen around, I don't see. You see this book we read on?
The Quran.
The Quran. When you want to talk about bamboo, you just say like takrabu zina. You say no go near there. You know, now when you are married, now it give a lot of laws. But zina, you just say no go near there. The Almighty Allah go further say, if not to him, don't say, you know, they punish Al-Hussein for Al-Hassan is sin. He said the picky way born out of bamboo, they punish her, they put her hell. You know what I mean? Almighty Allah say, you know, they legalize illegality. You understand? They say the more, the merrier. You understand? We as a government, we don't care how many bodies they exist. We as a government, we don't care how many policy one whole we for be accountable. That is why we are passing accountability in MCC. Although Kalon Sailor will not talk about external these things. But let us look again. Not to every other time. We don't live at this country, we had traders union. They will get petty traders union. There was teachers union. They will get concerned teachers union. Artists united, they get concerned. I mean, why are we always breaking away?
Your democracy provides for, if you don't agree with this, you can move on.
Yes. So, in all this way, it is say. Now, in fact, the Registrar General will be in now the colleague lawyer.
When a deputy minister of justice.
Justice now. We are not going to encourage, if this body is registered, you call any government minister, they go there. But if they don't give you registration certificate, then you say, a government said they don't give you, you don't get evidence. You are assuming something a government is behind this.
Please.
You know, I have not interrupted you.
Yeah, no, you go make your point.
You understand?
Let the minister.
You don't say, now this person say, let them not register with. We want as many critics as possible. If anybody there will not for the repeal part 5 of the Public Order Act, if I don't be this current president. Because the kind of vilification we get as even opposition leader, nobody has witnessed it. But again, if first that whole thing, then when it can, even though a former UN retiree, Pakaba, failed for repealer, a former lawmaker, and it's my Kuma, and the former parliamentarian, he promised he not deliver. President, a former military leader, a repealer. It means he really wants to create the space for everybody for exist, devoid of voting your opinion on
So
that.
government not get any, interference in waiting lawyers.
We have not.
That is the point you're making.
I mean, when footballers meet, then footballers are all, we say that one party then come on. How they treat themselves? Where slash meet? You expect say everybody not slash. Now one party they no, but they don't find way for contain themselves together. You understand? When lawyers of the highest repute, they want to expect much from them, more than even bike riders. Bike riders went to their election, they came out clean. Lawyers, not only would they expect from them. Yes, una can agree, una can disagree. The existence of lawyer society, we don't have any problem with that. Because the more people we have, but the reason why we married, now for them thing. Because not for you, the Mami Empire again, that picking will come out of that union. For let it get that standing where it's not amongst the colleagues. A lot of person I say, well, this is not illegal picking. Now I make with a formalized union. You understand? So out of that illegality, if you want anybody, no matter which potential it gets, it will get limitation. You understand? So if they have a very nice idea of this lawyer society, whether bar association they exist, if there is another body we want to come, we really want to go beyond what bar association they do, perhaps the timing is wrong. Okay. Because everybody they say now say, you ask one question where he evade. What if him now be win the bar association election? By now, enough for to be president of Lawyer Society. You understand? So enough for not even think about that. It is a fine idea, but the coincidence, perhaps, is what is making it a little bit challenging for other people to register. You understand? They don't want to register. It is gone through this and that. Well, I'm not going to put you all together, as you say, now just because we are not right with this executive. You cannot form an organization based on disgruntledness of an existing body. Okay. One thing, from this explanation, I have followed this thing, but from in which are they own our law society now. The only problem we get not with bar association, but with the executive of bar association. So you came together just because you are not pleased with the executive of bar association. And I know I'll be part of this problem. Yeah. Me, if you invite me, if the body is not registered formally, it's not well positioned.
You know they attend.
Why I want to go there?
Okay.
If they go beat me, what are they call?
Okay. let me count it with Joel into the conversation. You write something very interesting yesterday, and it just meets up. I think that was one of the points where I get Augustine as well for the part of this conversation. Because at the morning, actually, I see what you write, and it got to do with how, you know, the idea, the public, the optics of the division of the bar, north, west, south, east, and APC, SLPP. You know, how do we get to situations like Wami Paddy can say, how we Abu Kondo Balawami colleague, he said, how did we get here? You know, how gets to this point?
How did we get here? Important question. But before that, I'll just make some clarification. You know, the minister say not for look at external evaluations. I didn't say that at all. I say the focus not for be overlay on that, forgetting internally waiting there happen. Because if you be the focus internally, you could see some of this coming. For instance, probably the minister not even aware, right? The last Afrobarometer ranking, they show say 80% of Sierra Leoneans think the country is headed in the wrong direction. 82% feel say the economy is not managed well. That's nearly 8 out of 10 people, right? If as a government or as the ministry that they focus on them things, then they could have seen, you know, the failures with the economic rankings in the MCC coming. You know, if you check even just the last 5 years, you know, since we win the MCC, qualify for the MCC in 2020, I think, right, we continue to do well till about 2022. From then, it's been a downhill, right? This is not just basic analysis. In 2020, we passed 13 indicators, 2021, 13, 2022, 13, but after they now, 11, 10, the till don't can 9. So we just say all of these things not because we hate government, but for just help put things in the right perspective. You know, to Augustine, you know, it's very interesting. Personally, I don't like divisions, you know. When I posted one day yesterday, 2 people commented, oh, you should provide the right context. You should provide the right context. For me, waiting the mean for comment saying I defend the new bar society, which is, I'm not interested in that. I believe, say, it's an unfortunate situation for the law profession outside so we get two forces bitterly opposed to each other for, you know, maybe some of the grounds them for the division justified. I don't know. I wasn't at Kenima, and the thing I don't follow up too much. But let me say this, you know, the way I see things. I think we've been here before, right? Many of we civil society organizations and all that can take one position now when things favorable, mostly in terms of who is in government or who is not. And then once it change, you will see everything change. I can make a prediction now, and maybe Augustine will find this interesting. Even some of the people now with around them with the bar society, and I think the true test of whether there's a really mean well, now waiting go happen if, for instance, governments change hands, right? Because it will be very unfortunate for let you just, you know, you get people around you, but they all get an interest usually. And that's the challenge, you know. If the interest is really to hold government accountable, then hooray, personally, I support that. But it will interest you for know a lot of people they then get their own interest. And the moment, let's say, power change hands now, I will promise August to say many of them go left and a bar society and come back to a bar association. You know, so we get a complex problem, Nasalo, with everything.
So the position are not genuine. It's about
that's the
it's
point.
not us, it's not you.
That's the point
it's
I'm
about
making.
sending out a message say, no, we serve. But how do we look at the problem the way they caused it here? How do we, as land as lawyers are, we get lawyers to go into an election where not go end the kind video, like you say, myself not been the Kenema, but the video and information they will get clearly shows say there were issues with the conduct of the elections, accountability and transparency as well. How do we address these things? Because lawyer, eh? If you check, ask them picking in a school now, who do you want me to buy? The same
Lawyers.
You know, these are the people where society they look at for stand upright in things away. Then they
It's
do.
a very elite profession, very
Right.
enviable, very
Yeah.
admirable. But you know, the fact that politics don't creep into most domains, right, is a challenge. And Nadande we need for address. You know, Sierra Leoneans need for move beyond everything. You know, I make a giddy analogy.
Yeah, unity, freedom. You say.
we country supposed to be a
Justice.
united country, right?
Yeah.
But with people, a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone, there are, I will tell you, people who very justified in waiting there, they push them, very honest, they're very truthful, they really want to make a change. But you also get a large chunk where, and the proof of this, just wait after a transition.
Yeah.
If you get some of them say membership, then some of them say members, then you can prove me wrong. But how do we change this? Patriotism, now one.
But now the question I know they asked this week, what does patriotism mean to you?
Patriotism for me means say the country for the number one, right? It should be bigger than me ego, for start with. If for bigger than me political party, if for bigger than me tribe, if for bigger than Usai Akomot. You know, now the thing we go make you watch certain things and say, this is just wrong because I am worried about the consequences of this. Now, we go make our watch say, okay, I did not the bar association. If the bar association fall, it will affect the country, it will affect the profession, right? It will affect we ability. I would say for a government, this will be the best outcome for divided law body, right? Because then it's difficult for hold one position. You just one group just need for say this, the other one pull counter press release and so on. So it's like the battle is between the two factions.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a very unfortunate situation for Fen.
And you got a very huge resource from the profession.
Very
If
huge.
if they work together.
In some countries,
You know,
the bar association alone are the most potent force against tyranny, against dictatorship. The whole government to account. But if there are divisions, it becomes a challenge. It becomes a
Augustine,
challenge.
the neutrality of lawyer society, I'm sure to a very large extent you are aware, is being questioned. I follow the conversation between you and my colleague na 98.1, Musa Kamara as well. And me don't talk to some people that were not lawyer, who were dissatisfied with what happened in Kenema actually, but they think then go join lawyer society, we not go get that optics like. This is another splinter group that is leaning to the opposition as well. How do you, you go address that kind of concern? It's a legitimate concern as well.
Absolutely. I think there are many things that are being said that are very, very unfair. Because I say unfair because I give you an example. I have been in this space for many years, where APC been in a government, where President Kurma sacked Vice President Samsumana. Not all that person lead that protest for lawyers. I did. Right? You know what happened? In the way the executive obviously been a lean towards the regime. The same conscription what they talk about. So once you get one group, then they capture them. So what you would do that 10 day, 2015, was to create what we call Renaissance lawyers. So the press release will pull for condemn President Kurma, not come from the association. It came from Renaissance lawyers. I remember right clearly because now office to we, now 7 will pull see, now they will draft the letters, now they will draft the press release. I remember all the people that were in the room who will draft a press release, because the Bar Association executive that 10 days say, on no account would they publish a press release. So waiting they happen all the time, it's unfair to victims of bad governance, where you capture one, when you create an alternative, you call in division. No. So always address the cause rather than the outcome, right?
No, but you agree as well, say, people with interest, they take advantage of the splinter group here.
Absolutely.
And
So
like Joel say, if things change, they move back.
No. So I think what's one they get wrong, now the fact that if government were sincere in all of this, if government thinks, say, they want to create a space for them multiple groups exist, this government, for them ensure say they register the lawyer society and allow the lawyer society for fall. If this is a disgruntled group, it would not last the other day. If this is a group will not get currency, then gets people when are vexed and vex a reactionary force, register them and see where they perish. But they have not done so. So the government, they thrive on this idea that we are divided, right? And we get Boko for the first time, unlike what we do under the APC regime with Renaissance lawyers. Now, we just small group of people who were less than 50. In the lawyer society, we have a membership of over 500 registered members.
The Bar Association self gets members when are lawyers.
From Kenema, 1 year plus, the Bar Association not call any meeting. Because if you call meeting, I bet you not up to 50 people would show up. Then they tell you, say, so we always get this question. And by the way, I react to Musa. I say, when we formed the Renaissance movement in 2015, other than benefits our SLPP when we in opposition, had my SLPP friends where they call me on a daily basis, where they applaud me. So every time you have a social movement, every time you have a political movement, naturally, the opposition party and the benefits from what they do. No means say that movement there is also captured by the opposition. Right? Naturally, politicians say they lack the interest.
So there is nothing wrong if APC benefit from lawyers.
There's nothing wrong because, by the way, that's what I've said. I said SLPP benefited from Renaissance. But that don't mean say inherently lawyer society is being. And by the way, I remember say when we launch, one of the things that will make it clear now the fact that whoever holds an executive position in a lawyer society no for be a card-carrying member in any political party.
You vice or deputy, the lady, is she not a member of the opposition?
No. So not only the card-carrying member, but for all any strategic, feel for mention, for all any strategic position, because everybody get rights for belong to any political party.
Okay.
For any strategic position, I needed to mention that. Yeah. So we made that very, very clear.
Okay.
Right? That one then a way for we insulates the leadership of the society from political interest.
Okay.
Right? But if people are dissatisfied by any outcome, I think it would be unfair for you label them now as people we don't break away just because you think say that breakaway they not for happen. And by the way, we have made it clear that we have not broken away from the Bar Association. We are proud members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association till date. Okay. We get case in the courts. Now that make we put the Bar Association on the pause. If the courts come back and decide say all what happen at Kanema be legitimate, we'd go back. We'd recognize the executive. But the courts not go stop for play that duty there. And then when I want force people for recognize an executive where they say no, they were not legitimately elected.
If you been done win the election at Kenema, there will not be a lawyer society.
I wouldn't say that. So for example, if a group of people may think say, oh, it's time to expand, fair enough.
No, but in this kind of way of how the lawyer society come out from Kenema and be, clearly there is a division.
But Lamana, if I be win the way the person when a president the purport say win, I bet there would have been a lawyer society. If I be win in that manner.
And you not be one that for happen.
I know they ever win in that manner there. I would not. If I win in that manner, I go applaud any group of people who come together and form another group for foster the common idea.
Mr. Minister, you want
you ask the definition of patriotism.
Yeah, what does patriotism mean to
They define one thing I think we left being what we want to add. In patriotism, you also get to consider your rights and the rights of the other person. It can be me, but if not me, it not mean saying of happen. If you're a Sierra Leone, it not mean say if I'm not the head of Bar Association, Marano will be the head of Bar Association. And when somebody is nationalistic or tribalistic, now if you say now, if only be me tribe, or if only be for my own nation, but patriotism gets room for accommodate variant opinion. Candidly, I have followed Mara. This is the first time I'm meeting him. And in opinion, most times on critical matters, you will say, okay, he talks for the ordinary person. If you just watch him from the face of it. Like Kalon said, we don't fail with people many times. We form very good groups. But the people will come around for form this group. So I tell you the head, you don't know the intention. You understand? That is why even third parties, like this country, no, they last long after elections. You see that people gravitate towards third opinion between SLPP and APC. Their leaders, when they come, people that come around them, they see them just make poof. These groups, whether Mahara will get genuine or Mahara will get genuine intention, say, besides bar association, there should be another group where they accommodate more with this mandate. It will be very clear and allowable thing, but like he is saying, the intention, if you crowd yourself with people, where people feel these partisan issues, when you want to hold government accountable, hold yourself first accountable. Am I sincere in what I'm doing? If you are sincere, then look around you. Because they say, show me your friend, I will tell you who that be. Like they say, we say, okay, anybody where they are, not for be partisan, this and that, or not for, hold position. They begin to say, how about this person? People that when they see around you, they will just say, what's the matter, they talk, not to see what's thing. Look what that in here.
The optics.
The optics, we are all talking about the optics. Like when they say coincidence, I'll still go back to this coincidence. You could be very genuine. But somebody, the way that you party, say, when they around you, somebody say, hey, this is the way my heart talk. You don't see without in here. Go make other people just fix it. And believe you me, in Sierra Leone, we have genuine and sincere people who will really see which side Sierra Leone go move in a right direction. You understand? But this thing about even the poor man in the street feel say, now only by this party make are the better, is what is wrong. And if we just form these things, like I told you, we don't split most of the groups. I was going to come to when we had that unprecedented issue of the president sacking the vice president. The one that was disappointed with most were the lawyers. You understand? Yes, Mara and his colleagues stood firm. Well, like he's saying, was it because they were in opposition? But that might be the time for really saying, okay, these are learned people. That's what they call themselves, my learned colleague. You understand? These are learned people who are supposed to know what will happen at the state. Why is the ordinary people, but they say, no, this is wrong. Lawyers say, no, like, correct. So if you see them coming together, I mean, from that sense, I lost respect for the professional. But I just look at it and say, what is happening to this country? The ordinary man go demonstrate, say, no, this is wrong. The one that don't read the law.
Interpret in different way.
The body in support. Mara and his colleagues stood firm. That is why, from distance, when I can read Mara in peace, I say, me, I don't hate somebody because he's critical. I feel say he's opposed.
Is there an end to this from the government side? You know, because naturally government go want we get, like Joel writes, this is a country with mutuna unity, freedom and justice. And one of the things they want to preach now that's how Salon big pass we all. How do we come together, even with differences, we disagree, but how do we collectively, me don't say now repeatedly, this generation, Mara na in college mates them, in party them, now then dinner governments, now we party them, now we all. How do we sit and discuss the issue there and find a common ground, say, in the interest of this nation, in the interest of civic responsibility, and in the understanding that Salon big pathway, or let's put we ego there aside and work together?
So it starts with one. The day we define our livelihood outside politics, we start to look at things from a patriotic point of view. Anybody will not get capacity. Now they hide behind politics. Nine-legged division things. There are some people, they're not able to compete when things normal. There are people who don't even want to near politics. You understand? Coming up, which I be too much, I for be a lecturer. You understand? And not to politics. How do I come into this thing? I don't even know. You understand? If there's a way, where constitution they say after politics, you go back to normal life. In fact, I don't need it for pull inside it. Because after holding these public offices, where you left, you go back.
Yeah. You go community service.
Then you see how people will receive you.
Yeah.
It will tell you whether in that position where you be there, you serve the people right. As minister, I'll always say one day security self and I work out. You understand? One day somebody say no. When you didn't assign position, some provision where they give you use up. That's why do I need the security? Almighty Allah say, Wallahu yasibu coming and ask me protection I got here any day. I don't do anybody bad it. Where things you go meet me in the street, attack me. Just because I'm a minister. That's what I believe in. I'm a Sierra Leonean, I walk around. So there's somebody say, you know feel like minister. I say, I'm minister for day. Because I believe I belong to this society. I don't ever come out alone. But one thing we'll be very careful. This nation for big pass we all. Let us put politics away from our daily engagement. Sometimes even radio station, APC station not go there. I say they go there. Because when other person at APC mean
people know they listen.
You understand? It is not about what you have to tell me. Wait till me things are for telling how they tell me. And when we left here, me go then in your mind. You understand? These optics about somebody playing good, this and that, I don't disturb this country.
So as part
let us take politics part away.
As part of what
if this thing, the president, now me for approve law society, I'll trust, I'll bet my life if I don't approve it. Or else, like I tell you, President, you're not getting any right for repeal part 5. You understand? If you watch history, the person way they don't vilify pass all man. 20 from when President be associates 2208, when in declare even within in party. Some newspaper no they know the way they come out when they mention you in vilification. Now some people will just say, okay, why don't cancel? They tight the space for them. But they see they call cocktail with them, they interact with them. I mean, this one will not be the elephant in the room. A long area is okay when I go talk anything when they do. You understand? Now one person that they will not care for, this thing, they want to let the space really open. And this thing that they do, now they create a nation. They're strong institution. Mara, now social media, you can look at it and say somebody will get very fine opinion. You understand? It talks critical matters, it will come with opinion, but perhaps a coincidence, just coming from a contested election, then you lead a group where majority of them are just in this group because they know how to associate with that other group. It will give you problem.
So as part
like you ask them, why Renaissance after they not be really make them on bigger than bar association. If we are forming association after every election, you know go fine. Consistency for the end, it is defined by the vision. Sometimes it hold a vision. It is a responsibility to market that vision to people. They buy them before it try. But it's not easy for change people's behavior. And one behavior which Sierra Leoneans need for change. Now for belief say, now only politics they make us survive. I can go back to the classroom and teach lecture.
Quickly, part of the things I want to do for change perception and perspective about Salone and patriotism, civic responsibility and the civic festival. One of the gets recently. Now one thing where Joel gets an opinion on them, but how una think say this could bring weekend together, it not be like another just another activity. We know the change perception, we know the change how we do things as a people.
So that if we think say in order to change we as a people, we not for invest so much resources, time and everything. It is an opinion that if we bring ourselves together, we interact, we occupy that, just like when they say Mara gets a lot of friends within at the other side, we need to interact beyond that space. Last year, what we make with Civic Festival, we brought Julius Spencer, we bring IB Cabo, when a former information minister, irrespective of the administration where they belong to. You know, just to say yes, devoid of who side this person is, we are all Sierra Leoneans. And civic education, the reason why the president had that civic education mandate to information is that this country will not be able to push with self. would I go occupy this place? If I say I'm not enough for the day, or I'm not say about enough for the day, then who? Irrespective of political, this thing, regional, this. In fact, originally we are not divided. Tribally, we are not divided. Now people will not get capacity. Now they use politics, tribe for divide me.
Okay.
Most of we, not full of my mind. I don't full of my girl or woman.
Oh, not too well,
Yes, sir. You understand? Not to make my mind. So if you want to make bad, then you see say you do bad. You might do bad. We cannot get that in some. Most of the APC big guys, now many woman they get. If they be so hate many man, someone will get many woman. You understand? I become born with many woman. So tribe not don't divide we. People amongst we just feel say now we appeal to tribe at this thing, now they survive. Some other get capacity. Even we think in a political party, not able to compete. Now they popularize this thing. But the media and the civil society get role for play.
Yeah.
We are not for mixed party. If we create civil society just because of political interest, now they fail the people. If you can't create this place, this fine place where I don't council today, just because there is a politician supporting you for popularizing your opinion, tomorrow man will like your business. Joy when they waste in time council, so you know will like your business. Because we never create this space, let the politicians come. You listen to it, and I told one station, Maagoka talk, Aka talk. Your responsibility is now to look at what Mara say and what I say. Do some investigation. I say no. Between Mara and Bao, the minister, now Mara be right. Based on you get the evidence.
In fact,
Devoid of any other thing.
yeah.
I was in Ghana. There was this problem about elections. So when the High Court, the Supreme Court, they can't make the decision, I was seated with a cleaner. He left everything they do. They pay attention. Now, so what happened? He said, I know they look at the verdicts of today. He said, but what's going to be the impact of this verdict on this country? He said, because any decision where this judge make today,
Yeah.
it can for affect Ghana now.
Take go.
So this is a
them.
cleaner.
Yeah.
They have talked to me, say, how many Sierra Leoneans, when in high places, remember what this guy remember?
Okay.
That our decision today go inform a lot of things about on our country tomorrow. If we are very careful of the things that what they do today for our tomorrow, the tomorrow of this country. That is why when we say the civic festival, we don't go places across the district. We bring stakeholders, they interact with the people. Now we say, let's end an Africa. Let's take 3 days out. All this music, let's all come. We interact. All
Are
the
they sending
MPs
message to Loyal Society?
They should.
I'll tell my minister. I'll tell my minister. But really, the need for really this we they can just play with them things, but it is serious.
Yeah,
You
we should find a way.
Now, if no one are waiting, he put before we Naya, it's fine. Because you have to have. If anybody tell you say one party Niger for the continuous in Australia, a life for you. Plus, you always go plan for exit. Your exit strategy always for them. One day I asked the World Bank, World Food Program, IFAD, and very many people concerned with food. So that time I was charged with the portfolio for agriculture. I asked them, when did you come to Sierra Leone? This talk. What was the problem? They explained. Why is the hunger still existing? After all these years, because you don't have any plan to exit the stage.
No.
Yeah.
You understand? If you implement any project and you don't plan to really redundant to yourself, then you want the problem continue for exist.
Yeah.
So me, no one continue for even being minister. You understand? I have to have a private life. That means private life for the past. Nobody knows about minister this. Now I get interest in this Sierra Leone. We go there for we all.
Okay.
And that is why the president really created the Minister of Information and Civic Education.
Okay.
It was Minister of Information and Communication. It's like our civic education. Now we all responsibility, we all, for CISA, waiting with the council and talk here with me now. It is intentional that we want to take Sierra Leone from Musa Ide purposefully. When we just they compare Sierra Leone to other countries, and we are not doing anything for take Sierra Leone
Progress
to
for
other
happening.
places. And now the media, the civil society, then people know they can't talk, fine talk so. Beyond these talks, what are we doing?
Joel, with what in the ministry they do, how do we get it to a sustained point? Who shall they understand? Say, yes, alone big pass well, we get a civic responsibility, and we for instill and we serve in changing this country. Me don't talk and every day. Nobody know they go can make this country.
Nobody, bro. You give a very good example. We don't get all kind of northern salon since the war and even before that. But the same problems, water, electricity. So something I can say, we not go just even blame government, but even the organizations here also for carry some of the blames because they don't dey around all that. So yes, you're right. You know, I like the deputy minister. It's quite refreshing to hear some of the things he say. Personally feel saying that this we need for transcend politics, accept certain realities and understand say politics get timeline, you know. At the end of the day we will go back to being who we truly are, Sierra Leoneans. So in terms of the civic festival, right, where they come up, I wrote something recently where I show nine form you question. And my argument is that the theory of change for this civic festival flawed, right? It's problematic because if the idea is that you can just teach people and make dance, make gumbe, bring people for talk, and that will result in a change of attitude, then I think it's problematic. I'm not saying not a good gesture. I'm not saying not a good side for start, but my argument really not that. Every country whose patriotism they thrive, whose citizens really like the country can get way it benefits the citizens, which is something we're really lacking as Salon, right? Maybe me see the sometimes you can wonder how Salon really they benefits me, and that's the question on almost every Sierra Leonean lips. You just want good roads, you want electricity, you want internet. I see them there that they fet the telcos them with, you know, consumers about a hike in price or some changes, right? The basics. So my argument is that in the absence of them basics and the way a young man from Tonkolili or Kenima or Bundapi or wherever can come up from that rural village, study hard and get the assurance, say, we come out college, he get job, or he able to go Ministry of Education and get scholarship without needing any political interference, right? Without needing anybody for put word for them.
Addressing the social issues could lead to patriotism.
That's my argument. So in addition to all of these other stuffs, right? So me real point now that without them in the day, if 80% of the...
So you don't need perfect person for electing country?
No. If 80% of the people feel say the country is headed in the wrong direction, if you want to communicate from January to December, it will change very little, right? Because there are underlying problems. They have problems with the way the economy is being run. That has to be addressed. People get trust issues with government and government institutions. Personally, I not believe say there are many institutions where I can go until they get procurement, the calls, bids.
You apply.
My company go apply. You know, sometimes I watch government procurement calls. I know they even go near answer. Yeah. Because I'm just like, are these people really looking for competent people? Yeah. Or they already get people, even if not also a B, but not that's the Sierra Leone.
But we all agree say
that has to change.
We all agree say somebody for start somewhere.
Absolutely.
We need for start something.
Absolutely.
And what in the ministry they do is a process that we could start with, or perhaps escalate them and do them in a different way, or different suggestion like Una and other people. But we have to start somewhere.
We have to start somewhere. The problem is that don't not stay too much on that side. This is we for just organize festivals, for print, civic education books. Don't not stay too much there. So the ministry, they do their job, civic education, but the ministry get responsibility for urge the other players. Improve government effectiveness, improve public service delivery, improve trust. The average Sierra Leonean for trust in country. I for able to sit down and when the president they talk, I listen and be inspired and really feel say this is my country, right? Without all the divisions there. So that's what I think. I think the civic festival, the other activities nice, but limited in themselves. Yeah. Making say now clearly, even if you do that in the 10 years now, it will make very insignificant change. Because if people still hungry, if they still lack water, if they not get good internet, they are frustrated by electricity challenges, bad roads, road accidents, and they not feel say their voice. That's my other point. The voice of the citizen again for matter. So that feedback loop, the ministry is doing well with communicating. I see they do a lot of what's that called? Conferences,
civic
town hall.
engagement. Yeah.
But how do we make the loop bi-directional, not a one way? How do we get the views of the people? How, when citizens say 80% of them, 8 out of 10. So that means even SLPP and APC people, Mende Timni, North South. Now that's the thing. These are the latest Afrobarometer findings. Say we not think say the country is headed in the right direction. You cannot just dismiss that.
Mr. Minister, I see the take note. I want to go to Augustine quickly, but I see the take note. I want just really illustrate. No, I mean not in a negative way. So you could just respond.
You know, is it true? I must say, true long and middle name true not true. This country, we're able to heal with patriotism. Yeah? But for say, if somebody they suffer, you know, they like in country, also know, may not subscribe to that. For instance, they can go transformer na Tombo. They put electric pole for the community get light. Then somebody put fire upon her. Huh? You listen me?
Yes.
Somebody put fire upon her. You don't get light. Government say you forget light. Then they put transformer. Then somebody say go burn her. Then you grab pain, you go put fire upon that transformer. Government they put street lights. People they can't pull the solar panel or the battery. They can't go na house. Is that patriotic? But in all this, the media and civil society, I think if we play a neutral role for really expose these things that no, it's wrong. Not to government, it destroy. If you go inside government boss, they check the seat. Now government they do bad. Believe you me, if president they go to my village, as it announced they go that road, they don't go great and quick.
Yeah, we come on.
Why they pass now? I don't even know say this road bad.
So another continue,
you understand?
Minister.
Now
I go McKinney this weekend, and I was like, the patrol and plenty. And I remember, imagine the tender away from my president Kuma, they go na that go the weekend. How then they take care of that road then? How is they present?
So it comes to like what you say trust.
Yeah.
Trust and not say now institutions and government. Now it take from now bottom top approach so.
Okay.
Now because me and you not trust we self, now me could not trust the institutions. Now me could not trust governance. Today, Mara is doing very well. He's vocal. He's patriotic in his writings. The moment they make the appointer, you know what the people they go say? Now make it. They don't talk.
They don't compromise.
Everything in them.
Yeah.
They don't forget about that. Sometimes people take position because waiting they in me, I'm not going to deliver if I'm outside.
Yeah.
Let me come forward. They're not going for help us succeed. They're not going to help us succeed. What do they want to do now for bring a candle?
Okay.
You understand? Because this trust starts with we self.
Yeah.
How many people come together for really do business? When they say the Banese, one of the Banese, if I apply for a contract, a brother might get a host book. As Colatia, Sierra Leone, the way you sit down, so it's small money they get. Buy taxi for person.
Can I quickly comment on that?
We need for let Mara for go. We need for get case this morning.
If
quickly.
You buy taxi for person.
Yeah, let me hear it from Mara. You know the honestly, my plan was for get you can discuss about the anniversary and what they do, but it looks like the conversation.
I know.
A good we get this kind of conversation.
Absolutely.
It's the comment are very positive,
Absolutely.
you know, to a very large extent. But the issues you don't hear them. What in patriotism mean to we? How do we build trust with people? How do we? Is there an end to this issue of getting a united bar?
I think say that question they to the membership of the bar association, because at the end of the day, the bar association exists because of the members. So if members they don't take a particular position, and by the way, we can happen not to immediately then form the society. It took about 6 months. So we mean say members are not so rashly run for reform of society. They make sure they explore everything legal. Then try for meet some new book fees hotel, police go there, send tear gas, scatter them. We meet now along the streets. So these are resilient people. We know overnight no more say they go form an alternative group. No, they took 6 months. They went to court, they argued the application, and then they reserved for ruling. So in order not for create a situation where they force you for the other side, you don't question, we decide, say, okay, let we create alternative association. Because the only way you get a single entity, government can able for capture the entity there, right? So in terms of the future, I think that they get for do largely with the government. The Attorney General is the titular head of the bar. For example, where the election may happen, the Attorney General then been there. We don't get a new Attorney General. You don't in our office for a while now. Maybe things say some steps should have been taken comprehensively. When we talk about trust, we talk about bringing everybody to the table. We all sabi we safe. Now that make in every function we have held since we were formed, every time we invite the Attorney General. Me and I meet recently at the King's birthday. I reach up and say, Landed Attorney, we not see you at this event or etc. So we honor them. We recognize say na the titular head of the bar. So whatever institution they will call, whatever activity we hold, we ensure say we send that deserving recognition. For we Society Week, we invited the Speaker of Parliament. We're also a lawyer. We invited several other parliamentarians who are a lawyer. And it's good we talk about patriotism. Because really, some of this message of patriotism, we don't talk about them, we don't write about them for many years. And by the way, for example, why make the Renaissance lawyers not be formed into an association? Because that time the waiting may happen, the Renaissance lawyers were not opposed to the executive. We not say they were illegitimate. We say them failed for take a position on Samsumana. I remember that meeting, it lasted till almost 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Before police come, he can disperse we. So not only first time this way police don't they interfere and lawyer their activities. But we understand, say, patriotism means, say, sometimes and day you get for go beyond yourself for demonstrate, say, the country na in big pass we all. And I like that catchphrase. But I also agree with Joel. Say every time, if, for example, you can't legislate, you can't enough for them sprout. Sometimes, if somebody within government say true, not to so for organized election, because this is captured on video. We know only with small picking and grow up, then form their own association, then self get chaos and point to lawyers say, but they don't serve the election and so them they shape ballot papers like Kakara. No. So patriotism is being honest. Now that make many a time where people and take a certain position at government, we applaud them. Remember Julius Spencer, we resigned from government. Their examples and they ring true. Mohammed Sorie found them. Why make them kill them? Because they resigned from shaking government. And say, no, then tear away, they do not find. Sambangura, they took a position. So within SLPP, where for far too long, we feel like SLPP was the elite party. But we don't get that kind of vibe there anymore. We see now it's write-ups, festivals, and speeches. Now we get somebody from within and say, no, this is not the way to conduct election. But even at that, if a group of people in non field say they want to form another professional body, give them the space to exist. This is the best way to demonstrate patriotism. And I disagree with the minister, say it should be bottom up. No. The leadership now they creates the pulse, now they sets the agenda, now they sets the tone. So beyond, and I disagree, for example, President Koman and attitudinal and behavioral change secretariat. I said, no, we don't need a secretariat for that.
You lead by example.
Absolutely. That's the best form of political education. When you go to America, where you wait and stamp your book for enter, nobody needs to sit down with you and tell you how this country is constructed. No. You know from the pulse, from the system that is workable. So similarly, leadership creates the agenda there and drive the agenda from top to bottom. So the last man waiting at the gun, no go get alternative. And I agree with the minister on the fact that we are not divided by tribes. So no. So now bad politicians say, we election can, now they appeal, say this come off from north, this come off from south, etc., etc. It would interest you to note, say, most of my friends and they within SLPP, many of them, but I disagree with them on each day fiercely. For saying, no, I don't agree with this governance model. I think so when they get it wrong, etc., etc. So if you think, say, people are opposed to you, bring them to the table. That's the best approach. Okay. So you know go treat lawyer society this way and you want to talk patriotism to me. No. Wait a minute, no. Even if you preach them, it would not sell to us. The best way for sell to we, register we, recognize we, and bring we to the table.
Absolutely.
And have a conversation. But not treat we as outlaw, then they preach patriotism to me.
Finally, I just take the comment here quickly, then they make a final comment, and then we move on. This one for Mustafa Katashi, I agree completely. I actually believe Moy should have partnerships with people like you for data that informs their work as government mouthpiece. They run through few of the statement, and this other one say, Joel, you're saying it's all. The Civic Festival has nothing to change. I have a lot of colleagues who studied ADA, paid every college fees, and came out with first-class honors degrees. 3 years down the line, they could not get jobs, neither scholarships. How do you expect just a civic festival to change those mindsets? The other one way they take, say, the deputy minister sounds liberal. Joe and Sorie Sengbe Mara Esquire make this program a bit fruitful. Government effectiveness is lacking in all sectors. Sierra Leone is a small country and we need to invest and work together to transform lives and improve the economy, energy, water, and education infrastructure. The final one where they take, come up from Tunde Scott, he say anyone who is questioning the formation of the Lawyer Society without holding those responsible for the Shamba election in Kenema doesn't really mean well for Sierra Leone. The Bar Association was an embarrassment to that noble profession. Few more messages where I would take. It's interesting. The other one said the 3-day civic festival is coming as a result of the ministry's civic engagements across the country, where they brought in government ministers and other heads of institutions to explain projects about service delivery. It is as a result of those several engagements that culminated into this festival. So no, the civic festival is not just a ladida, it was a process that led to this. The final one where they take, the final one, a question where somebody sent for Augustine. He said the Lawyer Society were the last to take a stance on the Justice Alloway issue after Truth Media and others led the charge. Why was the delay? Was it political or was it scoring in favor to the Chief Justice? They say when the Lawyer Society started, it looks like a neutral body for those dissatisfied with the Bar Association did in Kenema. Nowadays, it's looked more like an APC Lawyer Society. Mr. Minister, I start with you. Finally, some people can commend your position on this as well. But how do we move beyond this conversation with most of the things I want to talk about? Therefore, come back to the MCC. Government effectiveness, accountability on a pass, freedom of information, investing in people, how waiting you want and how you want to end this conversation and waiting the people for expect.
So one, like the person rightly say, we treat this civic festival as Freetown. Is an outcome of all what you don't do across the districts. District by district, we don't engage, we don't bring key stakeholders for give account of service delivery to the people. Then with the counter now for close the year. Last year what we do in Freetown, they say Freetown not to salon. So this year not to Freetown no more we do. We bring everybody, we look at all MDAs, they go showcase now they put them, waiting at the achievement for the year. The president they can enter every booth and look at what we achieve. We want everybody, now Sierra Leone for no say, Salon Big Pass with all. I still maintain this, that individually we for trust we serve. If we trust we serve, we trust state institutions. If we trust state institutions, we go trust with government. If we not trust we serve, we cannot come together to do any business. We cannot be competitive in business. We're not going to break international markets because I use small money. Now we want to do business with. So trust is very key. But above all, like Maradi say, loyal society, people still think say it is a recipe of what happened at Kenima. And I mean sometimes people they go away from it. If I don't be that body with it, devoid of political color, everybody did when they say, okay, this is here and we all belong also yonder. But if it is born out of a chaos, it will be a challenge. And if the possible way for legalize them, register them, they not go through that day, you know, we expect a minister go attend a function for an organization where not properly seated, not to make the responsibility. They have to go back to whether they register institutions and so on. But we all, as Sierra Leoneans, what have we defined as the correct path? If you meet somebody, throw a dot in a gutter, you say no, take candy.
Yeah.
You know, because we all don't say somebody not for throw a dot in a gutter. We all don't accept. So anybody do it, it is himself odd. Believe me, I travel with somebody in America. You know what he do? He just drink water. Like if he's a salad, my right already. Oh my halal, with all the Sierra Leoneans. Who say is it? Well, it don't show you that it's that's what it's my bad. It's say what's happening. I said it is trade what's now. So the environment not even allow you. You understand? But Sierra Leone here, they do bad, and we just visit a normal.
But Augustine says something very important, leading by example.
But one person not able to lead 8 million people by just behavioral change. You know how many prophets God on sent on earth? 124,000 prophets. Now God was sent from where is that creation? We have not still changed our behavior. It don't make hell and heaven. It don't tell people that people are still doing bad. You understand? So one person, what do me believe in? If we all look at Finland, Norway, Holland, citizens trust, whether they measure individual trust between citizens, it is more than how they trust their institutions. Because they all don't define the pathway. You understand? All these things about right, left, this and that. Now, ideology, where people believe in, we go transform the country. That ideology of helping Sierra Leone, you see this idea about patriotism, it is a whole thing that the country really need for come together. If that retreat self, now look at what is Sierra Leone. Imagine even the name Sierra Leone.
What's in it mean?
Somebody passing around, you know, the Nazi for doing Sierra Leone. If you stop by, he just watch the country. He says, see something, a lion, it's a lion mountain. And we took it. Take today, nobody no question it.
We'll never continue this conversation. Waiting at the assurance to the public say,
you know, it's that there.
We go.
How somebody go watch you picking a name for you? You have, this is our national anthem. From start to finish, you don't mention God.
This
No mention God.
If America did not do that.
Mr. Minister.
So when you talk about changing behavior, those are a lot of things. Now, if you tell somebody, say, we need to change this country in name, you say, but the name say, we don't give you country. Other countries don't change their names.
Yeah.
Because the name don't mean nothing.
We get for continue.
So even in this city, we call it free, and how many people do things free?
Let me continue free. We get for continue the conversation.
So patriotism, we all, and you, when they get this space, when I get a lot for really change behavior.
Now what they do? Will they continue for do that?
And I make what people that say, critical, he has a responsibility to this country.
Yes.
If not so, you want to fine.
Yeah.
If not just because SLP and Goma now I make it so electoral. Maya has been very consistent. This belt and I don't watch a surrounding. I have been on the social media for quite a long time, Facebook. You understand? We don't interact on social media. I don't see how it arises on critical matters. Now they don't watch in surrounding. Like when man write a put up. Some people they will just watch and say, this man is becoming APC. Yeah. Are they correct or not? I don't know.
Yeah, it's perception.
But what you for put
is that
Salon big pass with all.
Waiting at the assurance to the public say we go do better with the MCC. You accept what we get and say.
And that is why, better. Like I start now, consistently we'll be on the passer. And I will no more don't sign grants as an administration. The compact are based on how we look at and we commit ourselves. We are learning from this. And Nobody knows President Bill. Everybody's happy. He has no friend. I go sit down and they talk boku so. By the time they come on and do, we know what the President Bill capable of doing. So when that score don't come on, everybody will take an leader. You understand? And I'm sure the next one, if I can't admit, you'll clap for the clap for something.
Inshallah. Joel, quickly. And
Yes, so a lot of things to unpack. I think I go start with the issue of trust, where the minister they emphasize. Oh, you get for starts with the people. Why do we elect leaders? You know, John Maxwell, a noted leadership author and coach, say something very profound, where perhaps we all need to understand. He say everything rises and falls with leadership, right? Everything. You know, the way the leader they behave, the way the leader they act, the way the leader they listen to people, all important. These are important markers for how the citizens they respond. If I dey na some place, I see say the minister no they obey the law.
You expect traffic.
Yeah, we kind of traffic they pass. Where in brother then a police station, just they call the IG. You know, I mean the things them plenty, and Sierra Leoneans see that every day. The moment Sierra Leoneans begin to see something different, they respond. We don't see plenty other countries.
Yeah.
We come back to this issue of how for engender patriotism. I mean, really one way deep rooted, not to that one number for optics.
Yeah.
You know, the minister say no, if person they suffer, that don't mean say enough for be patriotic. That's not what I said.
Yeah.
I am saying people need for believe, say the country care for them. That belief
Then
no
say go
more.
care for the country.
Then say to care for the country. That belief no more say I don't come up
And like
college.
the Papa na house, eh?
The Papa na house. And here's the problem. Imagine you dey run you home as parents. The pikin they know when the Papa get money, when he not get money.
Yeah.
But if the Papa they say he not get money, but they see they live lavishly, they live one kind of way different from the way the ordinary citizen they live, it destroys the hope, it cuts the trust. Yeah. The same way, the minister say you get 2 wives. When you date people, why do you trust them? Trust not they happen no more so. You get to trust them based on waiting. Yeah. How they behave to you,
we need more
and so on and so
forth. Thank you so
yeah.
much, Joel. We will continue this conversation. Augustine?
So quick one, I think one pan the commenters mentioned the Alloway issue. I think waiting may happen, we write to the Chief Justice privately. So now that make them not be see that press release until a month or so after the incident, because we wrote the Chief Justice, and in all the part of the leadership style for we put letters on social media. So a lot of times we can write privately, but we don't publish them because we're a group of professionals who want to do the right thing them. So now that make a month after now we publish the press statements apparently after them being suspended pending the tribunal. Somebody talk about say the Law Society FIBALEC they don't turn the APC society. It's the same way, for example, where they accuse we when we led Renaissance and then they fight against APC. Then if I then tell and they remember one person this. You know, the word where that person they use for me, say, mina SLPP lapdog. And so they may call me that. So every time you play their role there, I mean, politicians, you know, and the fact of the matter is if you invite opposition and ruling officials in the shop, opposition in the shop in the numbers, would you shut the door at them? No. Right? Because you send open invite to everybody. But time and time again, you see saying that then they show up. And because you want for embrace both sides, because you don't create the society for one particular, you know, side. Once we send out these invites, we see now the opposition folks and they come. And I don't think that anybody for blame we for that one day. The last one are the government refusal for register the organization. And that's critical because so far so good. We don't write the Corporate Affairs Directorate, National Investment Board. We don't write the Solicitor General on this, etc., etc. And I will tell the public within we don't intend as part of the plans for do, but we know say the courts exist. So at some point, we might trigger the option there because we've waited for a year. We think say the government will be reasonable for say we register them and give them space for thrive. But we continue for exist. We don't get functional legitimacy across the board. But people that applaud we work. We understand it's a genuine concern about neutrality. We go try as best as possible for ensure say we tell the public by we conduct say we're not pro-opposition, we're not anti-government. We're a professional pressure group.
Thank you so much, Augustine Sorie. Mr. Minister, you have been teacher. Yeah, you ring this bell for me. This bell now we symbol of truth and all the things that we don't talk about. Patriotism, for like this country, honesty, sincerity and everything. Just ring that for me. One more time. Thank you so much. That's how they end the program. Just wait a bit. To the end the program now. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Augustine. And we'll take a quick break. I'll come back and continue for Stay With Me.